Hey folks, Pat Flynn here, chroniclesofstrength.com, and I am super jazzed up today to say that I am sitting down with author and senior RKC Mike Kribka, author of the new ebook entitled Codename Indestructible. And this is such a fun ebook, and I'm really excited to talk about this because it ties into one of my all-time favorite things in life, and that is James Bond. And I was when Mike first came to me with this idea and sent me the rough draft of this ebook, I thought it was marvelous from the start. So let's get right into it. Mike, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, sir. Good to see you. How are you today?
Excellent. Thanks again for taking the time to sit down with me and chat with this project you have going on.
It's my pleasure, man. Thank you.
So let's start with this, Mike. You have a lot of cool things going on. You've been in this field a while. Could you just take a few minutes to sort of tell us about yourself? Tell us how you got into kettlebells. How you started, what you've been doing over the past couple of years, and eventually, what led you to write this book, Codename Indestructible.
I've been involved with kettlebells for a little over a decade now. It's kind of funny. My background really is in the martial arts. I started training in the martial arts when I was 13, and I was having a conversation one day on the phone with one of my buddies, and on the West Coast, because I saw this new tool. It's called a kettlebell, and there's guys using it out here, and they're really having a good time. And this was right after Al Gore had invented the internet. So I jumped on the internet and I started doing searches on the internet for kettlebell stuff, and I said, well, there's not a whole lot of people who are doing this. How do I find out how to use these things? Well, there's a couple articles like Pavel that were out there in Milo, and I kind of drugged them, came up and said, hey, there's a guy I train with that's going to be on the East Coast named Mike Mahler, who actually grew up in my area. I live in Maryland. He grew up in Northern Virginia, and he's going to be here doing a workshop. So he was in town, and I went to the workshop that weekend. Spent 2 days tossing around a kettlebell, and at the end of 2 days, I was just flabbergasted. I actually the first kettlebell I ever touched, I bought and brought it back with me and said, hey, this is the one I'm going to keep. This is my baby, man.
Hmm.
And I've been training ever since then. So I mean, it's been a great ride. I mean, to me, kettlebells are a great tool to train movements. And as a martial artist at heart, being able to move well and be able to generate force and power is the key behind martial arts. So, to me, being able to use a tool that ties in directly into really, really good movement skills and reinforcing the good habits was a godsend. Because I've been lifting my whole life, and I started working out when I was like 13 in a universal gym in the shower of our junior high school, literally. And I was 98 pounds. When I graduated from high school, I weighed 98 pounds. I'm about 220 now. So I have pictures of myself at that weight, and of course, looking at me now, people will be flabbergasted. And you can imagine that people who knew me in high school
Uh-huh.
don't know who I am 30 years later because I look a little different than I did back then.
That's awesome, and we sort of have similar backgrounds with the martial arts. But something that's really cool and unique about you and what you do is you actually own a CrossFit and kettlebell gym, and a lot of people might say that there's sort of conflicting methodologies. But how do you make them work together? How do you blend the RKC and the CrossFit system?
Yeah, that's a good question because people see CrossFit as one end of the spectrum and they see the RKC at the other end of the spectrum. And I really think there's more similarities and differences between CrossFit and the RKC than people want to really admit to. I think it's more fun to have a contrary opinion about another methodology or another style. In this case, I really think what we did, and this is really from the inception, I didn't even know about CrossFit until about 5 years ago. I had already been working out with kettlebells and combining kettlebells and body weight and working on my deadlifts and my snatches and my cleans in the gym, and then someone showed me the CrossFit website and said, hey, this is really cool. They've already done the work for me. They understand the methodology. They understand the variability behind the training. This is a great idea. Well, this is long before you had 6,000 affiliates and a couple 100,000 people doing this every day.
Mm-hmm.
And this is long before you saw every day is being posted on YouTube of people doing these really crazy-ass workouts with horrible, horrible technique and horrible bad form. So my thing was you can maintain the integrity of the RKC by paying particular attention to form and technique and cadence, and still get a really, really great workout in by using multiple multivariables tools. In my case, as a martial artist per se, I can't just work on a leg day or just work on a chest day or a back day or an arm day. My thought is, I don't know if I'm going to be, kicking, punching, throwing, choking, stick fighting, knife fighting, or pulling out a gun at any given time. So I don't know what the variable is going to be. So for me, being able to train on a daily basis in an environment where there's lots of variables and there's lots of requirements on my physicality was a godsend. Was the answer to the question I had: how do you train for the known and the unknown? That's the martial arts. What are you training for? Well, you're training for life or death. You're training for the known and the unknown. Do you know? If you're good at something, you hope you encounter it in an environment you're good at.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
You're bad at something, what are you going to do? Well, you've got to train that. So if you've got weak legs or weak arms or a weak heart and not enough cardio, then you're going to get gassed. You're going to get destroyed pretty fast. So to me, my CrossFit RKC training on a daily basis, I only train martial arts 2 or 3 days a week anymore because it's not time for it. But to me, when I'm doing a CrossFit workout or doing a CrossFit RKC workout, those are my martial arts workouts because I have to be 100% mindful, 100% aware of what my body's doing and what I need to do next, and how I'm protecting myself at all times with good technique and good form. So to me, it works together very, very well. Now, once again, based upon what you see on YouTube, CrossFit's crazy. I mean, there's people doing some stupid stuff out there, and they're loading movements that they have no business loading with ridiculous weights and doing stupid stuff. But I think there's also some really, really good CrossFit gyms out there, and I know quite a few of them, that there's common sense trainers there who are saying, hey, you don't need to be doing this stuff. You need to work on your basic strength skills, your basic body weight skills, your basic mobility skills. And those are the guys who I try to associate with and I try to promote as much as possible because those are the guys that will be there when the CrossFit craze goes down. I mean, we know everything comes in a cycle. CrossFit is huge now, and it will be probably for another 3 or 4 years. But the next thing is going to be Zumba Light or, God knows what else.
Yeah, who knows, right?
So whatever it's going to be, when these guys, when the CrossFit craze falls away and these 6,000 or 7,000 affiliates are finally going to be gone, it'll be down to a handful of them. These are the guys that will still be around, I guarantee, at the very, very end, because they'll have a solid program with really, really good progressions and good strength background, and their people will still be there working really hard.
Yeah. Now that's really great, to hear how you made the systems work together, and I agree with everything you say. So before we get in this, before I forget, could you just tell us quickly, where's your facility located? What's it called, and where can people actually find you and come train with you?
Well, I'm in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I'm right outside of Washington, D.C., and my gym is called CrossFit Concepts. It's CrossFit and then Concepts with a K, which is the same as my martial arts concepts, which is martial arts concepts with a K, in Gaithersburg, Maryland. So I have the same school. We do martial arts and CrossFit in the same place.
That's very cool. And I was down there when you had Dan John down. Awesome facility. If you're ever in the area, definitely go check that out. So let's talk about this new book.
And that was a real treat to have Dan down too, by the way. That was a great experience. I mean, if there's anyone I can say out there, I've been very, very fortunate. My martial arts background, my martial arts pedigree is amazing, and it scares me to just look at it and go, man, people really think I should know all this stuff, My martial arts pedigree is great, but I'm really, really fortunate that my fitness pedigree is very, very good too. Between training with Pavel for all those years and then training with being able to work with Dan John on a one-to-one basis, it's a great thing. And I can't say enough about either one of those gentlemen, either Pavel or Dan John. Both of them are tremendous intellects, amazing teachers, just great, fun people to work with. You can never go wrong working with Pavel or Dan John. And Dan, I mean, it's funny we're talking about Dan because I'm reading Never Let Go again now. It's like the 3rd or 4th time. And I'm going back through it again and going, God, how did I miss it the first time? And we're already taking notes again for the 3rd time. And I got to really start focusing on certain things here. So great people to work with. And you really need to. I mean, that's the thing. I don't care if you're a new client or you're a coach or you're a trainer and you've been in 20 years, you need to expose yourself to other people. And someone like Pavel or Dan John or people of those caliber can really make a huge difference in your development and the development of your programs and your people too. So, I mean, just like in the martial arts, do you really want to train with Joe Taekwondo on the corner, or do you want to see the next level up, or the next level up beyond that, or the next level up beyond that and go to Korea? I mean, you really owe it to yourself to see beyond what's right outside your front door.
And I also think it should be mentioned that you actually got Dan John to write the preface of your book.
Yeah, I think I caught him in a moment of weakness, which is kind of cool. So I mean, I think I got him in between liquid refreshment, and he produced it. So I was very, very lucky. I don't know how I'm going to top that with the second book, so it's going to have to find someone else to do a really cool preface for that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's as with any of Dan John's writing, it's beautifully written.
And that's the thing, and you're a writer, and I'm a writer, and who do you want to write like when you grow up? Every time I read Dan John, I go, God, I want to write like Dan John. He is so funny.
The man has wit. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, Dan John, you know, definitely, and this is definitely a testament to you, Mike. He would not write a preface or anything in something that he didn't believe in. So it's definitely.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's why I was so shocked he said yes. I mean, to me, if you're going to do something, go big. And I said, well, who am I going to ask to write the preface? Well, why don't I ask Dan? You know, the worst thing you can do is say no. And he said yes. So worked out great.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. But that's just the beginning of this book, Codename Indestructible. So let's talk about the beginning. You know, what made you want to put this together, and how did you go about doing it?
Well, it's kind of funny because, you know, you were part of the impetus, actually.
Oh,
I don't think you even knew that. I was at a mega training, and you guys had your book there. I go, God, this is cool. You guys wrote a book, and you put it out there, and you're selling it. And I had literally, you know, those people who know me know that I'm a geek when it comes to certain things. And when it comes to the martial arts, I'm very, very systematized. I've got, you know, literally hundreds and hundreds of pages of handwritten notes and hundreds of pages of notes on the computer on the different systems that I teach. So I have progressions and regressions and historical information and all kind of crap like that. But the same thing went, you know, when I started teaching classes on a daily basis, I said, well, you know, I got to write these workouts down and have a way to either replicate them or modify them for future reference. So I started writing these workouts, and I have literally books. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of workouts that I've created over the last, you know, 10 years or so that I've used for myself and for my clients. So, you know, what I occasionally will do is, okay, I need a theme. I need a theme for the workout. So every year we have the Girls of CrossFit Concepts. So every woman in the class gets their own workout. It's a workout named after them, and it's designed specifically for their weaknesses and their strengths. So they get a good thing and a bad thing in their workout, you know. And I did a bunch of workouts on like movie titles, just some fun titles like a lot of the Die Hard series and some of the Schwarzenegger films. So I said, I use movie titles. So I had to think of a thought. So I said, well, you know, why not do one on the Bond films? Because the Bonds, it was going to coincide with the 50th anniversary of the James Bond movie history. Skyfall was coming out in November. So I said, hey, let's do a whole month of just James Bond movies. So in the past, when I did the movie workouts, I'd already done about a dozen of the 24 movies already. So I said, okay, let me finish the whole canon off, get all 24 movies in there if possible, and design workouts for each one of those. With the goal is, okay, here's the movie, here's the concept. You've got to train to help James Bond survive whatever encounter or whatever big fight scene he's going to have in this movie. What would you do to prepare this guy for this? You know, so that was the concept behind each one of the workouts. So, hey, you got a certain encounter it's going to come eventually. What do you do to prepare your body for this endeavor? So, so I sat down and took the ones I already had in place, and I built the ones that didn't have it in place, and then we were actually running through the workouts, and people say, oh, these are great, or this is horrible. Usually if they say they're horrible, it means it's really, really good, but it's just hard to do. And someone said, you should put these out on the web and let people look at them and comment on them. So I said, well, I'll do something better. I'll just write a book and see if people will buy them instead. You know, so put the workouts together. And one of the fun things was everyone knows James Bond. I think you couldn't go to pretty much any corner of the world and someone wouldn't know who 007 is. And but most things in life, just know about what they see on the screen. They don't know a lot of the background stuff, a lot of the really cool trivia and some of the background stories, like who could have been James Bond if Sean Connery wasn't James Bond. Or
and I have to say, Mike, if I can interrupt that I absolutely love that about your book. So anybody, and of course, I'm definitely going to encourage everybody to pick up a copy of this book, but it's so fun because after each of the workouts, you have about 3 to 5 little pieces of Bond trivia. And I seriously, I spent the time and just went through the entire book just reading all of that trivia through just once or twice because it really is that interesting.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. And it was again as a Bond file. I mean, I've been it's funny because I'm sitting here at my desk now and I have 4 or 5. I have the whole collection of the James Bond series written by Ian Fleming, but I also have a bunch of books that were post Fleming and also some of the fan books. And I'm going, it was such a great fun thing to be able to do, to sit down and dig deeper into the history of Bond and some of the background stuff, like how some were financial flop, but really really big in the UK or the parts of the world, and who James Bond could have been. Most people don't realize that James Bond could have been Burt Reynolds at one point in time, and he was actually strongly considered for that. So if James Bond could have been Mel Gibson at one time, he was really strong. He was in the leading to be James Bond at one point in time. So there's some really great trivia. Some trivia. Obviously, the Bond girls were in there. But it was a fun book to write. I mean, and it's really nice as a writer to be able to take a subject you really, really love, and I love training, and then take another subject you really, really love, which is James Bond, and marry those two great subjects together to make one book. So it was really a fun process. I mean, when you write, there are some days you're just, your nose to the grindstone, and you're just kind of banging away at it. And other days, it's an act of love. You just love doing it, and you're having so much fun. The hours go by very, very quickly. So this is one of those projects, obviously.
Now, I mean, if that isn't the truth, we both know that all too well. But it always helps when you're writing about something that you're truly passionate about, and you can tell in this book that you have a true passion for everything that you're saying. It really does shine through. Anything else that you think is pretty unique about? I mean, I think that's awesome that you sort of went about it. How would James Bond have prepared himself for the rigors that he faces on an everyday basis? But anything else that you want to add about how you went about?
Which is kind of fun, yeah.
Yeah, about constructing the workouts and.
A lot of the things, and once again, and Dan John mentions the preface. He goes, okay, I know you're going to do this. You're going to jump into the workouts, and you're going to miss the first part of the book. But I spent a lot of time on the first third of the book, which was basically understanding programming, understanding load, understanding intensity, and being able to get the most out of the workout. So, is this a workout? Is this a program for beginners? Yeah. Is it work for intermediate people? Yeah. Is it going to work for advanced people? Yes. But you got to understand that while it's a collection of workouts, obviously, and they're James Bond themes, there is a method behind my madness, and there's a reason behind why I spent a third of the book explaining you need to learn how to load this correctly. You need to learn how to, most people just go in and go, bang, 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 I'm going to work out as hard as I can every day, and fail. You never meet your goals. You never meet your strength goals, your endurance goals, your fitness goals. So I spent a lot of time in the front of the book saying, okay, look, make a plan. Look at these workouts. Find the ones you like, and then use this format to be able to have a hard day, an easy day, a medium day, and then wave that program. And then, but I want you to keep like any good thing, you got to have a plan, but you got to be able to go back and look at the plan and see how it was executed. Well, I want you to keep track of your loads, keep track of your reps, keep track of your time, so you can see your progress. If you're just banging away the workouts, which you'll have fun doing, don't get me wrong, you'll enjoy the workouts, and some of you will enjoy more than others, because some just are horrible. But if you're able to see progress, if you're just able to see progression in your training, you'll get that much more out of it. I mean, you'll appreciate the path even more so if you can see yourself getting better by looking at your log. So that was the one thing that, well, the book's fun, that kind of stuff. That even Dan mentioned, because you really need to not bypass the first part of the book, because there's gold there, and that's what he was talking about in his preface. That the workouts are great, and really, and you're an RKC, I'm an RKC, been there for a long time. I've been using kettlebells for 10 years in RKC, and before that I started using the martial arts program. But the real lack of programming is what really kills those people in the kettlebells. You can't just go do 100 swings, 100 snatches, and go home. There's got to be something that keeps your interest. Once you've developed the basic skills, can you change the variables to maintain your strength and intensity while at the same time not going completely numb in the mind in the process?
Yeah,
and that's the fun part about this, And once again, you do a great job putting those videos out on almost semi-daily basis of here's different workouts to do, and that's really the gold mine that people need to see is that here's a very, very simple tool, very, very hugely simple tool that anyone can pick up. And I have clients literally from age 18 to the 80s. I had an 84-year-old client who used kettlebells daily. Mm-hmm. Okay, so my 84-year-old client is not doing a lot of snatches. I guarantee that, okay?
Yep.
But they're doing a lot of deadlifts, and they're doing a lot of squats, and a lot of cleans, okay? And they get a tremendous benefit from the program. But if you were coming into me and you were 19-year-old and didn't have a whole lot of background in strength and conditioning, you'd be doing the same thing. You'd be going a little heavier probably, and maybe a little harder, but trying to build the same strength base. So this really, really simple tool can follow over 2 or 3 generations of people and still be effective.
Yeah, and speaking of the videos, I'm definitely gonna. I know you already sent me a few recommendations, but I want to just sort of announce it publicly. As Mike is going to challenge me to film 2 of the workouts from this book, which I'm going to do today after this interview, and that'll go up along the blog post. So that'll be fun. So as we go through this,
Mike,
Mike,
hate me.
Yeah. So as we go through this, Mike, keep in your mind the 2 best ones you got for me, and we'll sort of cover that at the end.
Okay.
that you think are going to challenge my strengths and my weaknesses? So we'll think about.
Well, that. I think I sent 2 of them to you. I forgot which one they were, but I sent 2 names to you. You should look back at who those 2 are.
I already have those. Yep.
Yeah, there's one that you go, oh, that's nothing, and that was the one I was cussed across the board by everyone. And it's a simple workout. And when you tell people what it is, it's a really simple workout. But I was cussed by everyone, and it was great. It was such a fun workout because what you didn't expect is what kicked your butt. It was so fun. That was so cool about it. So.
And those are they appear unpretentious, but they just tear you apart. And well, I'll give you send you a message in a few hours and let you know exactly how it goes. So you already answered this quote.
I'm looking for the hate mail, sir.
Yeah, it'll be hate mail. All right. So this program very much is for beginners, and like you said, and what Dan John said in preface is if you are a beginner and you're starting out with Codename Indestructible, just take the time to spend with those first couple of chapters. Is that your advice there, Mike?
Absolutely, positively, and once again, it's like even reading reading one of Dan's books. So you can jump into Dan's books and you could pull out all the workouts in there. He's got probably in Never Let Go. He's probably has 15, 20 different workouts in there, and you could jump in there and pull those workouts out and just go at it. But you're not going to get the benefit from those workouts unless you understand the methodology behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I posted on the CrossFit Contest website the other day a video from Gold's Gym that showed a Gold's Gym trainer teaching kettlebells. And I'm not sure you've seen it before, but you need to find it. So here is with all good intentions aside, here is someone who's picked up a kettlebell and taught themselves how to use this thing and is now the expert for Gold's Gym on the web. And I'm going, oh my God, really?
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'll go take a look at that after this.
Scary. You'll find it. You'll find it, and you'll be appalled. And that's the beauty behind instruction is the key. Getting high quality instruction from the RKC or from Pavel or from Dan John, someone who knows what they're doing, someone who's been there and done that, can save you all kind of grief and aggravation in the long run. I mean, you guys run a gym. I know that, and you guys do a great job of your training. I can see it through your videos. You guys are incredible, and that's the key.
Thank you.
Just because someone says they teach kettlebells doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just, my philosophy has been, I've been in the martial arts my whole life. I'm almost 51 years old. I've been studying the martial arts since I was 13. I've been a student in the martial arts since I was 13. Regardless of all the credentials I have on the wall, they mean nothing to me because I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I'm doing. And it takes working with people who are much better than you to understand what you really need to do, what you can do, and what you have to still do to become a better student.
Yeah.
And that's the goal of a good coach, is to inspire their clients and to challenge them and to push them to get better. And if you in the martial arts, I train with Guru Dan Nasanto as much as I possibly can. I haven't had a chance to do much so in the last handful of years. I used to. I used to put in several hundred hours a year working with him. But his level of expertise in the arts that he teaches is phenomenal. My philosophy is, if you're a really good student, you could walk in and you could maybe at any given encounter maybe glean 10% of what he has to offer. 10%. Okay, if you're a really advanced student. I don't mean Joe Blow walk on the street going to a seminar. I mean, if you're a really advanced student, you could get 10%. So if you go home and work on that 10%, you come back and you get the next 10%. Or maybe you get clarification on 5 of the 10% and you get 5% more. It's not a one-shot deal. You can't walk in, grab a kettlebell and go, okay, I got this. I'm ready to go. It takes a long time to dial in those skills. And, the process of recertification and going ongoing training and doing other works and stuff is really, really key to be good. I mean, look at Dan John. Does Dan John need to go to another throwing seminar? Does Dan John need to go to another kettlebell seminar or lifting seminar?
This is a trick question?
Really, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he does anyway. Okay, you see, the best practitioners are the ones that study the hardest. And so, I respect anybody who goes out there and continues to get, ongoing training and continue training and keep, testing themselves and expose themselves to new things so they can get better and better.
So, I mean, you pretty much answered the question already, but, with any of these books, everybody wants to know is, do you talk about how to do these techniques and exercises in the book? Do you take the beginner by the hand and sort of...
Absolutely, positively. Yeah, I mean, the overview of each workout, kind of like a mission brief in each workout, is, here's some techniques you may not know about. Here's how you do them. And in some cases, I've created hyperlinks to stuff on the web. Hopefully, they're still good. They were good a couple months ago. To people or people I trust who do good technique. Um, some of them, once again, if you type in, ab wheel, or you type in sit out, and you may find something good on the web, and then again you might not. So it's a kind of a crapshoot. So I do my best to explain what my technical points would be to teach this thing, and then cut them loose and give it a try.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing that really sets this book apart, is that you take the time to do that, and that for me, that is a huge game changer. Whenever I'm looking.
And what'll be good also is I'll be able to go back. What I'm working on in my next project after I finish what I'm working on right now is to go back and look at CNI, Codename Indestructible, and then do a update on it, and put links to people like you who went and did workouts. So hey, here's Pat Flynn doing this workout. Take a peek. This is what you're in store for. So I'm going to be able to go back and do a revised edition. We'll give it about 6 months and go back and do an updated version of this, and I'm going to add more content. I shot a couple of videos just recently of stuff that's actually in the book. That I'll be adding into the newest version of the book in about 6 months. That's
great. Well, I'll try and look as pretty as I can on camera today, then.
Yeah, make it look good, buddy.
Yeah. So anyways, we sort of talked about this a little bit. You use kettlebells. You blend it beautifully with the CrossFit system. Let's say somebody goes and picks up this book right now, which would be a very good idea, by the way. What sort of equipment would they need to get started with CNI right away?
You're going to need a kettlebell, very possibly a pull-up bar. If you have a bar, a Olympic bar, you'll need that. Some of the workouts have deadlifts in there.
Mm-hmm.
A ab wheel, what we call the wheel of pain, which is really cheap stuff.
And one of my favorite pieces of equipment too.
I love that thing. Everybody hates it with a passion. I think it's a great tool. What does the wheel of pain teach you? Mm-hmm. It teaches you full body tension.
Yes, it does.
And if you're not using full body tension, you're not using it correctly. If in reality, it's a dynamic plank. So that's how you teach the wheel of pain. It's not this the Jane Fonda or the Denise Austin version where you drop and plop and pull your butt back. It's a dynamic plank.
Yep.
It's a transitional tension. It's an exercise in transitional tension, and it's a great tool. I mean, once again, it's challenging. I know people who can do hundreds of sit-ups and can't do 2 wheels of pain correctly.
Yep.
And they come in, they go, well, I can't do this. Well, okay, just go 6 inches. Just go 6 inches, and they go the next day. They go, God, I can't move. My stomach hurts me for days. Mm-hmm. Then you're doing it right.
That's right. Congratulations.
If your gut hurts, you're doing it right. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
But and it's cheap too. Above anything else, you pick one of those things up.
Yeah. Once again, it goes back to do you really need expensive equipment? And I was going back to Dan John. I was reading Never Let Go, and he's talking about all the fitness stuff he has in his house. I'm going, you can make a pile, but that was the reason behind, to me, the reason behind getting so involved in kettlebells was, I wanted a tool that was effective and compact. So if I wanted to throw it in the back of a car, or I had guys who were being deployed to Afghanistan or Iraq or something like that, they could take a really, really powerful workout with them. Well, okay, so you need a jump rope, a pull-up bar, a kettlebell, and a wheel of pain. Okay, what's the footprint that takes? Nothing. Because you can find something to do pull-ups on anywhere you go, right? The jump rope's nothing. The wheel of pain, you can just take it apart in little pieces.
Yep.
The kettlebell's the biggest piece of the equipment right there. So, if you really wanted a really, really great workout program, and that's one of the outlines I have for a book I'm working on, it's a minimalist approach to training. How can you get outstanding fitness with the least amount of tools and still hit all the big numbers? Well, that's what you have, and that's what Codename Indestructible has. It's a minimal amount of tools to get your maximum buck.
Mm-hmm. And it's beautiful. You can't ask for any more than that. And I love, anybody who reads my blog and my philosophy knows that I am very much a minimalist, and I absolutely love that about this program. So my next question for you, Mike, is, I could sit here and I could aside from all the wonderful bond trivia that's in the book that I absolutely love, what else would you say it is that really sets Codename Indestructible apart from any of the other kettlebell or CrossFit programs out there?
Well, I think what I like to think is that it's fun. It's an enjoyable read. I think that it has an immediate resonance with any guy, obviously, any guy who's grown up. And I've grown up literally. I'm 51 years old, so I was born right on the time Dr. No came out. So I grew up with James Bond. So it immediately has a resonance with me. And who doesn't want to be a secret agent? I mean, who never had the fantasy of being James Bond?
So true.
I mean, I
still do.
It's so true. Yeah. I mean, set your macho side aside. Say, who wouldn't want to be James Bond? Between just the physicality and the women and the cars and the cool toys, it's a great thing. And you know, and I'm a purist when I say, you know, I'm a purist that I think Sean Connery was the best Bond ever until Daniel Craig came along, because that physicality came back into vogue. You know, Sean Connery, very, very physical guy. Most people don't realize he was a bodybuilder, a tremendously strong man. He conditioned himself very, very well.
I agree. And a quick fun little note, and it actually made me think of you, as I was in the Bahamas in Nassau the other week, so I actually got to see where a lot of Thunderball was.
Oh, you saw that? There you go. Exactly. Yeah, right there. And Denver River Falls was very, very prominent there, and some of the shots were there right in that location. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Right where Goldeneye is. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then, you know, Daniel Craig came back in as this really, really physical, hardcore, very, very strong, very, very physical guy, and I love that. That was the James Bond that came to me, resonated with me from the books. So those two things right there key out to me. But the other thing was that, you know, these workouts have been done. This is not the product of my imagination sitting behind my desk to say, well, maybe this will work. Well, my clients suffered through these workouts. Trust me. They had the pleasure of being able to fine tune and tweak these workouts. So, you know, I've gone through this myself a couple times, at least a couple times for each one of these things, and so my clients, and we've gotten, you know, great feedback on the workouts. So we know they'll work. We know that they're challenging workouts. We know that this is not going to be a waste of your 15, 20, 25 minutes to do one of these workouts. And you know, on the CrossFit side of it is, there's enough multivariable facets to these workouts that if you have ADD, or even if you don't have it, you may think you do, you'll have fun, because there's enough variety and enough cool things to do that it allows you to have some fun doing the workouts. And they're fast. None of these workouts go longer than 25 minutes. So they're all, you know, pretty quick. If you can pull some time together pretty fast, you could do one of these workouts and get a fantastic workout in the process.
And I'll test everything I said, and I would never, you know, promote or endorse anything I didn't believe was not only effective, but, you know, it's just so much fun. It's an enjoyable read. And I think what would be fun right now, Mike, is if you have the book in front of you or around, or if you can get it quickly, why don't you sort of describe 2 workouts that, for me, that I can go put myself through when we're finished up here. I'll record them, and I'll come back and I'll put them on the blog posted here for other people to try to get a sort of a taste of Codename Indestructible.
Now, do you remember which ones I sent you?
You know, honestly, it's in my email. I could probably pick it up here.
I'm trying to think. I'm looking through. Oh, here you go. So one is called Sharks but No Lasers.
Okay, yeah,
kind of a funny name for it, because this refers back to the movie Thunderball, where, you know, you had the Vargo had the swimming pool with the sharks in it. Okay, but it really goes back to not James Bond per se, but to the other guy, Mike Myers. His portrayal of the James Bond character, but, you know, all the evil guy, Dr. Evil, wanted was sharks with lasers. So Sharks, no lasers. But this is one of the workouts that was just devastating. It's a really simple workout. It's 5 barbell deadlifts and then a 4-point crawl for 50 feet backwards. So as many rounds as possible of deadlifting 185 pounds for men and 95 pounds for women, and then doing these crawls back and forth. And this was devastating. People didn't realize how not only the neurological load in the deadlifts for doing 5 of those in a row, but also the crawls were just devastating. Lots and lots of fun to do.
That's
so awesome. I know that was one of them.
I'm trying to look.
I think what the other was.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now. Now, sharks with no lasers. Now, is this done for time?
Yeah, it's as many rounds as possible in 18 minutes.
Okay, as many rounds as possible.
I won't tell you how many rounds we did, but you'll figure out pretty fast that the transitions in those things and getting up and down from those crawls, it's tough. It's tough.
That's great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, you'll enjoy that one. And once again, and the thing is, you know, there's some fun ones, like there's a great workout called Mark for Death, which is a combination of snatches and cleans and jerks and push-ups and bodyweight squats. You know, simple stuff. That, you know, the goal was to hit as many of the skills possible that reinforce good movement. Excuse me. Dan John had a really good analysis of movement that was, to me, I consider revolutionary. That changed my thoughts on how to train and really strongly influenced the book and also the next couple of books I'm writing right now on, you know, you have to include hinging motions. You've got to include a swing. You've got to include a snatch. You've got to include some sort of groundwork, like a Turkish get-up or even rolling, to make yourself a complete athlete and those skills. So those are included in this book. So you'll send some weird, like, why would I have you guys crawling during a workout? Do it and find out for yourself.
Yeah,
You'll
absolutely.
find out very, very quickly that crawling is a great thing to add into a workout because it makes you move better, and it really is very, very taxing.
Yeah, and I was just talking with Charlie Weingroff. I did a webinar on that to him a while ago, and we were talking a lot about crawling, not only the neurological, the movement benefits from it, but crawling will smoke you. And I'm sure I'm about to reaffirm that with this next workout. By the way, Mike, I just found it. Hard to Kill is the other one you gave me.
Hard to Kill, that's right. Yeah, that's the one. Okay.
Describe that one for us real quick.
Hold on one second. I get so I can get to the right page real fast.
Sure. And for anyone else out there who thinks that when you write an ebook that you memorize all the workouts, that's so not true. People email me all the time.
Well, no. Once again, and I'm in the middle of 2 other projects right now too. So this book has actually been done since I think we wrapped it up back in November. The final draft was done back in November sometime. So we're now already 2 or 3 months out, and I've already gone on to other things. So Hard to Kill. Well, this is great. Hard to Kill is 100 jump ropes forward, 10 kettlebell swings on the right, 5 chin-ups. 100 jump ropes backward, 5 kettlebell swings on the left, and 5 chin-ups. 8 rounds for time.
Oh man, this is going to kill me. I haven't jumped rope in forever. This will be good.
Well, that's the thing. You find it. You have certain skills that are perishable, and jumping rope was one of them. And to me, I'm 51 years old. I weigh about 220, 215, 220, and to me, my running days are pretty much over. If I have to chase somebody down, I can do it. But to me, to actually go run is a bad idea. But being able to jump rope is very easy on me because I can use all the joints to absorb the impact. So if you're running skill, you can still get some great cardio from jumping rope and not get the pounding you could normally get from running. And this is another one of those works where you go 100 jump ropes backwards. I can't even jump forward.
Yep.
Well, here you go. This is the reason why those skills are in there because it requires you. Okay, here's a real basic skill. Why can't I do that? What are the movement skills that I have avoided or have not developed yet that will help me move better? Jumping rope backward is very different than jumping rope forward. We did something last night, and I think Frank DeMio had a video on his website the other day on Facebook and also on his blog, but it's from Zach Avanesh, where basically you're doing like if you imagine doing jumping jacks in the air, do jumping jacks as you're going across a wall. So basically you stand facing away from a wall. You back your feet up a wall, and then you crawl across the wall with your hands and feet, hands on the ground, feet in the air, going, across the wall. Well, it's easy if you think it is. Just give it a shot, and then go the other direction. So you're going to find that you have one direction that's easy, and one direction that's not so easy at all. It's like doing cartwheels. Okay, cartwheels. Everyone has a good side on cartwheels. Everyone has a bad side on cartwheels.
Yes, they do.
Same thing. It was great. We had a lot of fun last night watching people who are very, very good athletes literally stumble and fall off the wall because they could go in one direction, but they couldn't coordinate the motor skill in the other direction. Lots of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can't wait to get this on film and if the jump roping is as atrocious I think it'll be, then I'll do 2 or 3 takes. If I have it in me. But no, this will be a lot of fun. I've had a ton of fun talking with you today, Mike, and I'm going to encourage everybody to pick up a copy of this book and get it right off my site or at codenameindestructible.com. Is that the correct page, Mike? Codename Indestructible? Yes,
sir. That's it. Codenameindestructible.com. Yes, sir.
So sort of what I want to finish up here is, you're a man you're running a gym, you're an author, you're doing a lot of different things. Do you have any other sort of events, products, services coming up that we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I've got 4 other books in the works at this point in time, and actually, I may have I can't tell you right now, but the Codename Indestructible is going to go from one format to another, hopefully in the very near future. So we have another path of the book as well. But I have several books. One book I'm really, really proud of is called Wads of Valor, and it's a book of workouts based on the Congressional Medal of Honor recipients. And they're all workouts that are partner workouts. So basically, you and I will get together for a workout, and they're dual workouts. So I have one workout, you have another workout, and then we switch workouts every round. And cool. They are my favorite workouts of all time. They're great workouts. They're inspired by some incredible men who've sacrificed so much for our country in the past. But the workouts are so much fun and so hard, and usually very, very fast. That allows you to get a tremendous amount of work done in a very, very short period of time. So that's one project. I have a minimalist book I'm working on as well. I have a book on From Atom to Zatanna, which is a series of workouts from A to Z based on the DC comic book heroes. that tell, if you want to be the Atom, what would you work on? If you want to be Zatanna, well, a lot of things work with Zatanna, but there's workouts based upon the characters from the DC Comics series, and then there's another one also I'm working on. So we're still kind of tweaking the profile for it, but there's a lot of new things coming out there in the very near future that really, hopefully, will fill this void on workouts. I think people out there are really starving for some fun workouts to do that they can see, that utilize the skills they have, that introduces them to new skills that will make them a better athlete and give them some fun, exciting ways to get a workout in a very, very short period of time.
Wow, I mean that's great. That's awesome. You're an incredibly busy man. And again, I thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me today.
It's my pleasure, Pat, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those videos, sir.
Very cool. Any parting words here, Mike?
No, thank you once again, Pat, for letting me talk to you guys today. And you guys doing a fantastic job. Like I said, I see you almost every day on YouTube and also on Facebook. You're doing a great job. And I know you're having Dan coming in sometime this summer, so I'll definitely be there for that. And I recommend that, once again, go see Pat, go see Dan, go see Pavel, go to an RKC, get some good training, because regardless of what you think you can always learn more. It's what we do, and what I always say is, what I do is simple, but it's not easy. And people are always amazed that, a 50-year-old man at 200 and some odd pounds can jump up and do a handstand and walk on my hands. Yeah, but it's simple, but it's not easy. It's a skill, and you can develop the same skills anybody else has, as long as you're willing to devote the time to do that and get the expert training you need to facilitate that process. So, get out there and train, work with some good people, and chase your dreams and have fun. Have fun. Life's too short not to really pursue it and have a good time doing it.
That's great. I mean, what an awesome way to end. Mike Kripke, thank you so much. Codename Indestructible. Let's do this again soon.
All right. Look forward to it, Pat. Thanks again.